Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Fake news media CNN wants Cucinelli to resign for doing his job and having an America First agenda. However, the real story for today that you're not going to hear anywhere on mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, it is the deep state. Yes, guys, no, there's new revelations that we've put together here on SmythTV. Guys, Chief Justice John Roberts is the one who appoints all the FISA court judges, him and him alone. Chief Justice Roberts, also the one who, flipped on the Obamacare and invented out of whole cloth a new reason why Obamacare should be okay through a tax. Is he compromised? Yes, he's absolutely compromised. He's connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Listen to Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news media and the Democrat Party, and giving you the real news every single night. And today, not like any other day, there's a lot of great stuff coming out. Donald Trump doing some great things for America, America First agenda, as we got the Democrats going to South America. What is Pelosi doing? What is she thinking? And then we've got the big bombshell breaking news you're not going to hear about anywhere across the board, guys. Chief Justice John Roberts. Yes, Chief Justice John Roberts with the Obamacare debacle, saying that it's a tax, just inventing out of whole cloth a reason to vote and flip it by one single vote, the tiebreaker, John Roberts. Now he is compromised. Folks, John Roberts is compromised. We've got him going back. Obamacare. We've got him going where he was working in the deep state with Spygate and everything behind the scenes with all 11 FISA court judges and the other 3 judge panel. It is all him 100%. And now he's tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Kind of figured that's part and parcel with the Democrat Party. So as we're starting to talk about all this stuff, jump into the Donald Trump news. Some great stuff going on. And at Just Say Truth Now, U.S. signs contract to purchase Iron Dome system from Israel. I think it's absolutely fantastic how Donald Trump is working with Israel hand in hand, naming Golan Heights after Trump. There's literally a big sign that says Trump Heights down there in Israel. Just absolutely phenomenal. But and this is great to work with the Iron Dome. It's protected Israel. It can protect America. But, guys, we need to start thinking outside the box because there is a greater threat in America than rockets being launched at us. The greater threat in America is Islam. Islam entering into our government system. Islam grabbing a hold of everything in America and wrecking it. And how are they doing it? They're doing it under disguise. The Democrat Party has invited the Islamic nation into America because they know that Islam will do the same thing as communism and enslave the people. As Islam is not compatible with any other country, any other religion, nothing anywhere on earth is not compatible, and it has to be rooted out. And as a Christian, I say, folks, we've got to reach out to these men and women that are enslaved in Islam and show them the good news of Jesus Christ. Tell them about Jesus. Introduce them to freedom, free ideas, free thoughts, free things. Be your own self. Do as you wish. Do what makes you happy and follow along in the Christian religion. Guys, there's no other better way to live in life. And here we've got in Britain, this is our good friend at Winston Kofefe. Which one is safer, a man in a burqa or a blonde wearing a motorcycle helmet? Double standards. Comments below.
I'm not going to go into that.
Okay, fine. I think it's really unfair that I have to take this off and people walk around with it. How come you can do that? That's not fair.
Surprise! You are an Islamophobe, you. You're standing up for multiculturalism.
Absolutely, this is insanity. But you saw in the video the person walking in full burqa. You know who they were. At the end, he took his burqa off, and it was a dude with a hat on, and he was ready to go. He could have had all kinds of stuff underneath the burqa, but yet the skinny, tiny blonde woman with the motorcycle helmet on and the visor flipped up. No, that's the problem in the bank. This PC mode is just out of control in Britain, and it is out of control here in America. That's why we love Donald Trump. He's not politically correct. That's what we need to get back to, calling out Islam for what it is, and the danger that it imposes in America is what we do here every single night, folks. And as we're talking about Islam infiltrating our government, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, just absolutely awful for our country. And as we see AOC speaking, she has no credibility. There's nothing that warrants her to winning a position in Congress. Nothing. She's got no hit. Bartender? Okay. And the reason why she got elected is because the Democrat Party has gaslit their voters, their constituents, so that she was able to win over Crowley, old dog Crowley, who's slated to be Speaker of the House. So that's what's going on. And as we see her in this interview, and at Great Musselwhite 3, Musselwhite for Congress in Florida, 20th District, I've worked in the energy sector most of my life. The economy is very strong due to strides made in becoming energy independent. We must take back the House and stop this socialist agenda. Hastings is a co-sponsor of the Green New Deal. Please donate. MusselwhiteForCongress.com.
See gasoline-powered vehicles gone within 12 years?
Well, as much as it's technologically possible, I think we need to draw down our fossil fuels as much as we possibly can. I don't think we should build another pipeline at all in the United States of America. It's a matter of our survival. I don't even think it's a matter of political opinion. It's scientific fact.
Now, as you heard her speak, insanity, absolute pure insanity. We've got at Soar on the Wings and Real Donald Trump. Instead of relying on foreign countries, we're now relying on American producers.
We're pursuing a future not only of energy independence, but not just words. You know, you've been hearing energy independence for years and years, and you'd hear it. We have real independence. But what we want now is not independence. We want American energy dominance. Dominance. Instead of relying on foreign countries, we are now relying on American producers, and we are relying on American workers to build our own future right here on American soil. Time. And together we're defending the oil and gas workers who light up our cities and uplift our communities. We're fighting for the technicians and construction workers here in Beaver County who are building a powerful engine of American commerce. There's no place like what you're seeing right outside these doors. There is no place like it. We're here once again to stand up for the engineers and the factory workers who will shape the work of your hands into American-made products sold all over the world. That's what's going to happen. That's what you're producing. And everyday patriots who make this all possible, you are the backbone of America, the absolute backbone, and you haven't been given the honor of having that said by other people, but you are the backbone of this country.
Seeing those videos back to back absolutely exposes who she is and how inexperienced she is, and that she shouldn't be in Congress, and we absolutely have to take back the House. And again, you've got to vote. If you're down there in Florida in the 20th District, Greg Musselwhite, absolutely have to vote for him. Guys, when you go to vote in 2019, 2020, down the ticket, all Republican. You cannot vote for a single Democrat. I don't care what anybody says. Here on the west side of Cincinnati, there was a sheriff running for office. I don't care. He lost to a Republican, and then he ran as a Democrat, and everybody kept saying, no, you got to vote. He's a Democrat. He's not a Democrat, but he's good. No. If you can't get elected to your own party, you should not be elected. I am not voting for any Democrats. I don't care what the story is behind it. It will not happen, and you shouldn't either, because none of them have the America First agenda. And as we're seeing right here, this is unbelievable. Aaron Burnett and CNN fake news, colluding with the Democrats and illegal immigration, and Aaron Burnett on fake news CNN going after Cucinelli, who holds his own.
You're saying that it's very important to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. A lot of people may support you and respect your saying that, but the poem doesn't say that. right? The poem that's on the Statue of Liberty.
Poem. I didn't bring up the poem.
Well,
an NPR reporter did, and now you have.
Okay,
I didn't bring it up. I'll answer your substantive intelligence
questions.
So
I'm going to give you a substantive intelligence. Okay, however it came up, you said, give me your tired and your poor. Okay, who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge. That's what you said. I just played it. The poem reads, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of the teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Wretched, poor, refuse, right? That's what the poem says America's supposed to stand for. So what do you think America stands for?
Well, of course, that poem was referring back to people coming from Europe, where they had class-based societies, where people were considered wretched if they weren't in the right class. And it was written 1 year after the first federal public charge rule was written, that says, and I'll quote it, any person unable to take care of himself without becoming a public charge, unquote, would be inadmissible, or in the terms that my agency deals with, they can't do what's called adjusting status, getting a green card, becoming legal permanent residents. Same exact time, Aaron, same exact time. In the year it went on the Statue of Liberty, 1903, another federal law was passed expanding the elements of public charge by Congress. This is
I mean, when my family came here, they came here as crofters from Scotland, right? They had no education. They had nothing.
Right.
But I am here because they were allowed in, and I'm an anchor on CNN. Right? So I'm just saying I wouldn't be here.
My Italian grandfather sponsored his 2 cousins to come here. This is a tradition that many of our families, yours and mine, can point to.
Right.
This is not an exclusionary
No, but what I'm saying is I would have been excluded.
He's absolutely 100% right. That poem was written over 100 years ago. Guys, 100 years ago, it was a completely different setup and a completely different system. There was no welfare. All these illegals are coming here. Why? Because they've been told that the streets are lined with gold. There's welfare for them. There's money for them. There's a better life for them. We cannot take in the world's poor. It's just not possible. We don't have enough for the world. What we should be doing is showing the world, stay where you are and fix your system. Fix your government. Have your government work for the people just like we did here in America. We need to protect our system, protect our way of life, and be that shining beacon on the hill so that everybody knows this is how it's done. I'm dead serious. This fake news lying media is the corruption and the enemy of the people colluding with the Democrat Party. And as we see more of the Democrat Party coming out with hate and anger, fear-mongering, this at soar on the wings. Can you say fear-mongering? Abrams claims Republicans are going to send law enforcement into minority neighborhoods to scare them from voting.
That we also face foreign influence that is being denied by the White House, by the would-be tin pot dictator of Donald Trump, but also that Moscow Mitch is stopping voter rights legislation and election security legislation. But we also know that they just lifted a consent decree that's kept Republicans and the RNC from going into local communities and intimidating voters by having off-duty officers tell people that they're monitoring their votes. For the first time since 1981, the RNC will be allowed to cheat and lie and go into polling places and scare voters, particularly voters of color. Fair Fight 2020 is designed to anticipate all of those challenges, but not just worry about them, work against them. And that's what we learned from 2018. We cannot wait for the cavalry to come. We have to be the army, and we have to stand up.
Tin pot dictator Trump? A dictator advocating for free speech? A dictator advocating for freedom? A dictator? Sorry. No, that's more gaslighting. Moscow Mitch? Okay, whatever. Come on, guys. The name calling, it's all good. It's all fun and games. Doesn't matter. But listen to her words. Listen to what she's talking about. She's talking about something that happened way back in the 80s where we had spineless Republicans that were called racist, sexist, bigot, homophobes for doing their job at the polling stations, making sure that people were legitimately allowed to vote at that station. The weak Republicans back then, the GOP back then, entered into an agreement with the Democrat Party that they would never, across the country, enter into a polling station for X amount of years. I think it was like 20, 30 years. That has now expired. So, yes, no, we're not taking sexist, bigot, homophobes, or racist. We are definitely going to the polling stations. We're posting up and making sure that our sacred right to vote is protected. And the Democrat Party, I just got one other thing to say to you guys. For you all to think that blacks and Hispanics and Asians, Americans across the board are too stupid to know how to get a driver's license, or too dumb to know how to get an ID, you're the ones that are racist. You are inherently racist. Your entire party has built on racism. And as we see the racist, biggest sex of homophobes, and we see the illegal immigration, we've got Nancy Pelosi and the Fab Four going to South America to what? To help install a socialist president. What is going on? We got John Kerry over in Iran working with the mullahs, trying to tell them, oh, no, wait for us to gain power again, and we'll work with you again, and we'll get you the money. We'll get you, just hold off. Do not listen to Trump. Talk about the Logan Act being violated. Now we've got Nancy Pelosi violating the Logan Act. And this @Jally_cat, this is a video from OAN, One America Network. We have no Justice Department or State Department. Does William Barr realize we see he's doing nothing about the corruption under his nose? Speaker Pelosi and squad visit Guatemala for election endorsement.
Farrell of Judicial Watch says the Trump administration agreement reached with Guatemala to stem the tide of immigrants is at risk, as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and members of the so-called squad pay a visit there on the eve of what is expected to be a tight presidential runoff election.
Sandra Torres, the leftist or socialist candidate, is in a position where the arrival of Nancy Pelosi and the squad, I think even in a very sort of generous interpretation, could be seen to have arrived on the scene to endorse her electoral prospects. That won't be lost on anyone, that the arrival of Pelosi and the squad is sort of a hat tip, right? It's a tacit endorsement of that campaign.
A tacit endorsement of Torres, the left-leaning, some say socialist candidate for president, and a rejection of the Trump administration's safe third country agreement with Guatemala, whereby those seeking asylum must do so in the first safe country they travel to, including Guatemala, and therefore cannot pass through Mexico and into the U.S. to seek asylum. But the planned visit of the so-called squad and Speaker Pelosi has not gone unnoticed, says Farrell.
And so there's a domestic Guatemalan political issue, complicated by the arrival of a congressional delegation, none of whom I believe have the interests of the Trump administration and the new agreement in their hearts. The Guatemalans, there's been a number of protests against Speaker Pelosi and her congressional delegation. Guatemalans see it as foreign election meddling.
And those protests were not just targeted at Pelosi and the squad, but at the American ambassador in Guatemala, Luis Arriaga, whom Farrell says does not support President Trump's immigration agenda, nor the Trump administration's safe third country agreement with Guatemala.
But there's still active opposition against it, coming out of certain establishment political operatives in the State Department, but also our own ambassador, Luis Arriaga, in Guatemala City, who is a career establishment foreign service officer type, who has actively opposed Trump administration policies.
Farrell believes that the August 11th presidential runoff election will be close, but a victory by left-leaning candidate and former First Lady Sandy Torres could have dire consequences for the country. John Hines, One America News.
Yep, you heard it right. That's exactly what's going on, meddling in the elections of other countries. This is why we get such a bad name, is because people like this that don't represent Americans, an American first ideology, representatives like this that support Islam and that support socialism, communism, and we see it around the world. People are living it around the world. I showed you the video clips of the people in Hong Kong carrying the American flag because it stands for peace, liberty, and freedom. It's the opposite of what Nancy Pelosi and the AOC are doing. It's the opposite. Something else is the opposite, is their ideology on life versus abortion. Complete insanity. They're going to look back. People are going to look back 1,000 years from now and see this as the darkest days of America, from 1973 all the way up until 2019, or whenever we can possibly remove Roe v. Wade as unconstitutional, because the baby definitely has constitutional rights to live, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I'm just saying, right? And this at Jellycat, once again, she's a great patriot, and you definitely, guys, you got to follow her. The amazing Dolores Greer, speaking at American Life League News Conference in the April of 1989. Flashback, folks.
All of a sudden, we were given this free thing from the Society of America, abortion. 78% of your free abortion clinics were placed in black and urban areas for the purpose of something free of charge from a racist society. As to put it in words of one pro-abortionist, we don't need so many Negroes anymore. There's no more cotton to pick. These feelings about black people, this was one way of doing it as a social benefit, if you will. We're here to help you. Black women, and let it be stated, black women never demonstrated, demanded, or even requested the right to an abortion. We've been asking for the right to decent housing, the right to education, in fact, the right to health care. And all we've been given, free of charge, is the right to kill our unborn child. We are still struggling for equal opportunity. If a black woman walks into a hospital and says she is in need of some sort of medical care, she would be turned away unless she has Medicaid or Blue Cross or or Medicare. But if she asks for an abortion, there are no questions. We will be glad to kill the baby in your womb. It is demeaning to the black woman, because when you wanted us, in other words, when we were on the plantation, you snatched the newborn baby from my arms and sold it into slavery. Today, you cut it out of the womb and throw it in the garbage.
And this at 2017_awakening prayer request. My 22-week pregnant daughter's water broke. Doctor tried to force her to abort. She refused. Doctor got angry. She gave birth to Malawi, 1 pound, 6 ounces, 11 inches. Needs your prayer to survive. I agree with you 100%. This is absolutely incredible. It's barbaric. It's horrible. And yes, I don't know about deserving of housing and deserving of medical care. I don't know about the right to that. You could get a good job, work really hard, and work on getting those things. But yes, you're absolutely correct. The Democrat Party giving you nothing but free abortions, setting these clinics up in minority communities for free abortions. This is the dangers. This is the evils that is the Democrat Party. Abortions on demand, abortions all the way up until the baby is born. Governor Northam in Virginia, black-faced and white hood, whichever one, you tell me which one you were in. Apparently, if you're a Democrat, you could be black-faced and white hood. That's okay. No big deal. See, exposed every single day right here on SmythTV. And guys, the big news, the big bombshell news of the day that everybody is missing. It's the Epstein deep state connection, guys. This is absolutely wretched. It's so awful, but we've got to expose it for what it is. And you guys are watching New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith. Jump down in the description below. Grab the full show notes link. Share that with your friends and family, because that link has all the notes in it, all the links to all the articles and the great patriots, as well as the embed of the show in the article, so they can watch it as well as follow along in the notes. And I got to tip my hat off to this one, at Skywalker. This at Skywalker1712, replying to Joe, says, hey, the article also mentions a passenger identified as John Roberts. He flew with Epstein on at least 2 occasions, according to flight records from March 22nd, 2010 and February 10th, 2011. Could it be compromised Chief Justice John Roberts? senior cabal general in charge of the population reduction agenda for the deep state, Bill Gates, was also a visitor to Child Rape and Murder Island. Must have gone there for the curious dartfish. And putting all this together at Arthur Pearl, tweeting out BigLeaguePolitics.com, Brennan and Clapper accused of hacking John Roberts to blackmail him. Okay, let me wrap all this up. I knew I threw a lot of stuff out there. Let me wrap it all up and make sense of it. Here we've got a situation going on. Okay, Chief Justice John Roberts, dialing it all the way back. The swing vote for Obamacare claimed it a whole cloth, claimed it to be a tax. Okay, not only that, but fast forward to the FISA abuse and spying on Carter Page and Donald Trump's campaign. All of this is John Roberts and the background working. You're like, Brian, how do they get dirt on John Roberts? Well, Rod Rosenstein, he's made his entire career out of getting dirt on District 3 judges what are life appointment judges, blackmailing them, rising through the ranks, wanting to be attorney general because that's the highest law enforcement that there is. Him involved, as well as signing off in the FISA, Brennan and Clapper, we know for a fact. Tom Fitton calling out Brennan and Clapper as being the originators of the Russia PP-Gate dossier thing. They were absolutely spying. And why not? Because they can. Head of the CIA, they're spying on everybody. Now they're spying on Roberts. What I believe that they were attempting to do is to spy on Roberts, knowing that he went to Pedophile Island or knowing that he was involved with Jeffrey Epstein, in order to get more dirt on him, to really put the lockdown so that they could have total control over the FISA courts, all 11 of them. And this, the inside story, guys, is from Forbes.com, going all the way back to 2012. Flashback, guys, I'm putting all this together. The inside story on how Roberts changed the vote on Obamacare. Instead, he invented, out of whole cloth, a new definition of taxation that contravenes long-standing precedent. He added hundreds of billions of dollars to the federal deficit by way of his Medicaid ruling, and he forever tarnished his legacy as a justice and his promise to the nation that he would serve as an umpire and remember that it's my job to call balls and strikes and not to pitch or bat. No, man, you're pitching and you're batting. When you're pitching and you're catching, you're involved in all of it. Just on the background, guys, this is what I'm talking about. The decision, and this written by Forbes in 2012, and we're seeing right now that John Roberts was compromised back in 2010, 2011, and this great articles, guys. You got to read the entire article down in the description below, and this by American Thinker. This written in November 26, 2018, so just a little over 9 months ago. What about your FISA judges, Justice Roberts? The 11 judges are appointed exclusively by the Chief Justice of the United States without any supplemental confirmation from any of the other two branches of government. John Roberts, his name on every member of the current court, as well as a separated 3-judge panel to hear appeals of the FISA orders, known as the Court of Reviews. He is in charge and appoints every single one of them. The judges, signing off on warrants that were previously denied. I mean, we got it right here, guys. Rudolph Contreras, who was granted a previously denied on Michael Flynn FISA warrant. We now know that this judge said, I don't come to my office. Come to my house. I'll sign off on the FISA warrant at my house. I'm having a party, a little get-together, and we'll dip back in my office. Yes, that really, truly happened. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein misled the FISA court and signed off on the FISA application to spy on Trump's campaign advisor, Carter Page. Actions documented in a 4-page House Intel Committee memo. I've been telling you about Dirty Rod Rosenstein. Then we got James Comey in testimony under oath in June 2017. Said the Steele dossier was salacious, unverified, yet Comey signed off on at least one, if not 4 FISA warrant applications. Also, Attorney General Sally Yates also signed off on one as well. And it was based on salacious, unverified dossier. McCabe did, in fact, testify under oath that there would not have been a FISA warrant if not for the dossier. It was recorded by Representative Zeldin, who tweeted that out. So we're seeing all of this cabal. We've got all of them wrapped up. All of this points back to dirty compromised Chief Justice Roberts. This is the deep state. This is the cabal. They had it wrapped up. They had the FBI. They had the CIA. They had the DOJ. They had the judges in place. This is people need to go to prison for all of this. I'm serious. They need to go to prison. And Attorney General Barr and Durham doing what you guys can. I know it's a slow process, but man, guys, we're praying that you make it count. This is one and only time. You got to make this one count. And as we're seeing deep state and liberal minds spying on people and being corrupt, this is our good friend at Project_Veritas, James O'Keefe, doing the heavy lifting. New Google machine learning fairness. Whistleblower goes public, says, burden lifted off my soul. Leaks hundreds of internal documents. Watch Project Veritas.
You sat down with me last time on the story that we released on June 24th. You were disguised. You were in the shadows. Right now, there's no disguise.
I felt that our entire election system was going to be compromised forever by this company that told the American public that it was not going to do any evil. This is the best thing that I can do in the situation that I'm currently at. And the thing is that the American public needs to understand what's happening. I'm going to, publish this information so that other people can see the system that Google has built in order to control the entire information landscape. This is something that once people see, it's going to bring, it doesn't matter whether you're left or whether you're right. When you see this, both sides are going to agree that this is wrong. So my message to those that are on the fence is I've released the documents. They can go and they can see everything that Google is doing. And then they can see the scale of it. Because I think that there's a lot of engineers that have a hint that things are wrong, but they don't understand the colossal scale that it's at. And so for those people, I say, look at the documents. Like take the pulse of Americans, see what's happening. And come and tell the world, what you already know to be true. And I know that people have been waiting for, this Google Snowden moment where somebody comes out and explains what everybody already knows to be true. And I'm hoping that those that want to do something are going to be compelled to act, and that we together can come together and defend ourselves in the case of litigation. They can stop like one or two of us, but they can't stop all of us coming out and explaining to the American public that this is what's happening, that Google is not who they say they are. You're going to be a hero. It's going to be fine. Clear your conscience. You'll be able to live with that for the rest of your life, that you did the right.
Truly disturbing. Don Jr., Donald Trump, the administration, they all know what's going on. They all have seen James O'Keefe's stuff and Project Veritas. Matter of fact, Donald Trump acknowledging James O'Keefe in the White House for the tech briefing. So absolutely, but we definitely need to get involved and make sure that this stuff stops. Otherwise, we're never going to win another election again. All we want it to be is fair and free. Now, as we wrap up the show, to give you some great Trump news, because I'd like to leave you on a good note. Don't want you, it's upsetting with the real news that's out there, but we'll leave you with a good note tonight. And this at Soar on the Wings, montage of black supporters defending real Donald Trump. He's not a racist. Race cars has been overplayed by demon rap.
So sensitive that they cannot take President Trump responding back to their ignorance and cannot take President Trump responding back to them forcefully that they need to leave Congress.
A white man can no longer criticize a person of color. If you do, you're racist. Because I guess people of color is always right. Always!
The Democrats don't want to respond with correcting the problem. All they want to do is just call everyone racist that do not agree with them.
Mr. President, thank you so much for standing up for us, for standing up for Americans, and for speaking the truth and saying what so many of us really want to say, which is if you don't like it here, you can get the heck out.
It's not racist to call out these facts. It's not racist to talk about terrible policy ideas of your political opposition. Democrats have been calling Republicans racist for years, despite the fact that they're actually the party of racism.
The media cannot control me with the allegation of racism as it relates to Trump and what he said.
So I'm tired of it. We the people are tired of it. America's tired of it.
We need to come together.
If Donald Trump is a racist, he's not very good at it.
The Democrats are the party of the KKK. They are the ones that's racist.
President Trump called it out, just like he'll call out anything. And the only card the left has to play is the race card, which is severely overplayed.
I believe that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is the greatest president to ever be in office. I think he's accomplishing what he's promised. And I think everybody should look at the facts.
Thank you, President Trump.
And I support 45.
I support 45.
I support 45.
I stand with 45.
I support 45.
I support 45.
And I support 45.
I support 45.
I still stand with 45.
We stand behind 45. Yeah.
I support 45. And her second tweet, real Donald Trump keeping campaign promises. We are building a wall. And this is just a montage video of the wall being built. Absolutely correct. The wall is currently being built. Judges saying that it's okay for Trump to spend the billions of dollars on the wall, and he's doing it. Make no bones about it. The wall is not for illegal immigrants. Listen to me. The wall is not for illegal immigrants. The wall is for the Democrat Party to be reminded every single day, we win. America first. We win. Make America great again. Keep America great. We win. The American people win. Not the Republican Party. The American people win. That wall is to represent American sovereignty, American security, security for jobs, security for freedom. That's what that wall represents, and the Democrats have to see it every single day. For the minorities in America, that wall represents security for you to get a good job and not to be cheated out by an illegal who's getting paid under the table. For you not to be cheated out of opportunity to take care of and feed your family and take care of your children. That's what that wall represents, guys. Continuing to make America great. Thank you, Donald Trump. And as we wrap up today, Wednesday Wisdom. What an incredible day, guys. Keep your chin up. Keep moving forward. And again, like I keep saying, get involved in the campaign somewhere, somehow. Volunteer. Start out as a volunteer and work your way up. You can actually start making money in these campaigns and in the Republican Party. And as I say, Donald Trump has hijacked the GOP. We need to continue the hijacking of the GOP by getting involved. Talk to your friends, your family, all about 2020. Red ticket all the way down. Not a single Democrat. This has got to be a resounding no to the Democrat Party, that we accept none of your ideas, none of your socialist ideologies, communist ideologies, or Islamic ideologies. No, America is not that. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.